everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and today is day 5 of Micro Machine March 2, the sequel. So we're looking at the Star Trek Micro Machines Klingon Vor'cha attack cruiser, or as many people like to call it, the Vor'cha class. Now this Klingon beauty was first seen in Star Trek The Next Generation. I guess we could narrow that down. It was in Season 4, Episode 7, known as Reunion. And after the Best of Both Worlds, the show sorta took a little turn. Instead of being just episode by episode and you get a little snip of who the characters are, the show, or I should say the characters, began to soul search. Picard, because he got assimilated, went on to his family and he had a lot of heart-to-heart there. But Reunion was a Worf episode, and you gotta love Michael Dorn as Worf. He did a magnificent job, even in Deep Space Nine and the films, but Reunion always stuck out to me, with his son Alexander and the whole thing that happens. I won't ruin it for you, but I love episodes that really show us who characters are and why they do what they do. So if you're a fan of The Next Generation, check that out. Now anyway, I could talk about Star Trek forever, so back to this ship. For the length, it's a tiny bit over 2 inches long, which is pretty nice. Now if you're looking to buy this, you can find it in the Star Trek Collector Set number 1 or in Collection number 5 in a 3-pack. So we do have a lot to cover. We're going to look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, kicking this review off looking at the mold, I must say, to be honest, this is one of my original Micro Machines growing up. As you can see, there's some structural damage on the front here and on the warp nacelle. That's not really how it came, that's just because it's 20 some odd years old. But anywho, back to the parts of the ship. We have our warp nacelles, we have our forward bridge, and then here's a deflector dish. Back here is where the warp core is, shuttle bays, weapons, aft torpedoes, and then we have our impulse engines. So let's get a closer look. Let's begin on the bottom. You can see some beautiful designs here. Like Galoob really did a great job. Especially on the sides, all these little triangles and raised sections. We have our peg port, copyright crap, 1993. So that's pretty sharp. Coming down the neck, up to the forward section, we can see all these nice shapes. Really is amazing what they did here. And right here on the inside, that is the deflector dish. And then on these two points, should be phasers. We have our photon torpedo bay. Just a magnificent piece. Coming down the neck, we can see some great designs in here. And then in this area here, you know, you have your shuttle bays, weapons, warp core, all that stuff is in the main body. And it's just a fantastic job with all this detail. Now, before I get to the warp nacelles, these sections here, let me see if I can focus it, there we go. You can see tons of little lines. These are weapons arrays, because the Klingons make warships, so it makes sense. And just a fantastic job there. And then here's the warp nacelles, and you can see how it looks sort of beefy and armored compared to a Federation ship. And I like that. It's pretty decent. Some great designs here, especially on the bottom. And there's a side profile. Pretty good. You could even see some detail on the Buzzard collector. Just pretty sick. So I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Just a fantastic looking piece, and I love the triangle section here. So that basically does it for the mold, so now let's take a look at the paint. Alright, when discussing the paint, the Vor'cha class only has a small handful of colors. The first one up is a nice teal, and it's a nice shade. Really stands out in the collection. Everything is that nice turquoise color. It's pretty sharp. Now on top of that, we do have some darker teal, and that's scattered throughout the ship. And it's a nice touch, it really is. You could especially see it on the bottom here. Pretty sharp. Now on top of that, we have red for the Klingon Empire symbol on the top and ventral parts of the ship. On the warp nacelles, right in the front, and the weapons sections on the sides. And finally, we have red for the impulse engines on the back. Now the final color is black for the registry ship names, and back here on the sides. And that's basically it, just the names and that top section. All in all, nicely painted ship. And just like most Micro Machine ships, comes with a cool translucent stand, pegging into port like so, and you're good to go. And now for a little size comparison with the Star Trek Micro Machines Vor'cha. We have it next to the Star Trek Micro Machines Enterprise D, the normal release. And then over here we have the Galoob X-Wing Starfighter from the Star Wars line of Micro Machines. Great ships. And that does it today for my review of the Star Trek Micro Machines Klingon Vor'cha Attack Cruiser. Again, this is first seen in Star Trek The Next Generation, and for its length, it's about 2 inches long, so that's pretty awesome. Now at this point, it's no secret I am a huge Star Trek fan, particularly the Next Generation era. I love the characters and the stories, but most importantly, the ships. And this is one of them. The Vor'cha class is a beautiful vessel, and to me anyway, it's always a throwback to the old Klingon D7 battlecruisers. Sure, they're not mirror images of each other, but they do share a lot of attributes. For example, the placement of the warp nacelles, the body, the long neck, the section on the top, and of course the bridge area with all the weapons. Sure, it's not the half hemisphere with the flat top and the bridge on it, but you know, they took that old design, updated it, modified it, and it works. That's what I love about Star Trek. No matter what show you watch, there's always callbacks to other historical ships or events. And it's great world building when you think about it. So why do I like this ship so much? First of all, Galoob again hit the ball out of the park. The design is near perfect. Tons of little details, raised sections, recesses. The fin is beautiful. Everything that's there should be there, and it's done excellently. Now for the paint, I think they did a great job yet again. We got the 2 different color teals, black and red. This fin really pops on the shelf when it's next to the other vessels of the line. And finally, you got that awesome stand which unifies it with the rest of the collection, which I think is very important. So if you're looking to buy the Vor'cha class, there's 2 ways to get it. One is in collection number 5, and that comes with 3 different ships. And also there is the collector set number 1, so the choice is yours, but like always, go on eBay or Amazon or different websites and shop around and try and save yourself some money, because these can be very expensive. The prices usually vary, so take your time and stay eagle-eyed. So I recommend this ship for anybody who's a fan of Star Trek The Next Generation or the Next Generation era of shows, or if you're a fan of the Klingon Empire. So that's everything I have to say about this vessel today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button, and if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everybody.